Hello.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Nicole, and I am a music reporter with the Garnet Report. And I am very excited to sit down and chat with you. Thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So, for everyone joining us, I am here with Igmar Thomas of the Revive Big Band. Revive Big Band, for anyone who's just joining us, is this amazing 17 plus member band, super genre bending, rooted in Black American music, and really innovative stuff going on. And what's really exciting is that there's an album being released tomorrow. So honestly, my first question is, how does it feel being this close to the release date?
Oh man, it feels amazing. This is a long time coming. I've been trying to get to this point for many, many years. So it's 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 amazing, and it's also a little bit. I don't even know the word because I had when we started, I had like so many people around me all the time. And now I'm like by myself. So usually we're turning up, we're celebrating, we're communing. So it's surreal.
Yeah, definitely a long time coming. I know the band has been around since 2010, but the album being released tomorrow, for anyone who's just joining us, Like a Tree, It Grows, the album being released tomorrow, it's going to be your debut, the first full-length album. So, why walk us through why has the band, waited until 2024 to get something out on streaming platforms?
Yeah, it's been a long journey. A lot of life has been lived. Um, the process of recording started, I want to say, in 2018. So, with a big band, it entails a lot of overhead, if you will. There's a lot of money to front up front. So, I actually recorded before we did our Kickstarter campaign, and then we did that to complete it. But before that, we actually were kind of messing with Blue Note for a deal, but
Mm,
it was the same thing. Like I already could have recorded something, but it was still like a budget
mm,
thing. So it is just many things combined, like a lot of shows, a lot of life, a lot of things changed. We lost some folks, and yeah.
yeah. So the project has been in the works since 2018, you said, so for a few years. Do you feel any nervousness about the reception at all, or are you kind of just happy to finally have it out?
I'm just happy to have it out. Um, I'm not nervous at all. It's not really the reception. It's just the exposure.
Yeah,
I want to I want people to know that it's out. And, now in today's market, it's not about like when you drop it, it's just about the follow through.
mm,
So I just want people to
yeah.
know.
So the album is called Like a Tree, It Grows. We have two singles, Thelonious, the most recent, which was released a few weeks ago, and then the first single, RMP, which was released in July. I know the band, does a lot, but do you think these two tracks kind of provide like a good representation of what we can expect from the record?
Yeah, it does, especially in the terms of where we're headed musically, for because the next album is like mentally and partially written. But that's the direction for this album. However, there's a lot that hasn't been revealed. So in terms of style and direction, there's other surprises and treats on there that hopefully people will appreciate. You know,
And you said there's a next album that's already in the works.
yeah. Basically, like I'm very blessed to be signed to Soul Spasm, and yeah, I like once we get past this.
Right past.
um, yeah, yeah. Once we get past this, yeah, I think there's a lot of room to grow, and especially in the direction I'm going, like it's definitely gonna kind of be more suited for 2025, 26.
Mm,
This album
yeah.
is more a representation of what we've done, and a lot of the tradition and jazz tradition is implemented in there.
Yeah. The band is now, merging jazz tradition with more innovative hip hop, soul, funk. So, what does it mean to you to like combine these genres? Why is it important to you?
It's natural. I don't know if it's important, but that's not the reason. It's natural. It's cultural. I feel people relate, especially in real time, as well as it's different.
Mm,
You know, oftentimes I think people see, hear, create in the same vein, lane, but that's just not the case. So it's different, but I feel successfully so to the point where I have a reason to continue. That's enough.
yeah.
So yeah, I think we stand out in that respect, and there's a lot to add to the canon of music in general, but even in today's environment.
Yeah. And you mentioned, with a big band, there's a lot of, moving parts, kind of a lot. It's a complicated like recording process. I also noticed there's a lot of collaborations on the album.
Hmm.
I think that like it's especially difficult. I mean, I don't know about difficult, but like, do you think it's with new people coming in who aren't even part of the band? Does collaboration come kind of like not as naturally or simply as it would for like another artist with a big band?
Um, I think it's unique in the way that we're doing it.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's because big bands they feature a lot of people, especially vocalists,
Hmm.
you know. But the way that we're going about it is definitely like not the norm, and the type of artists and the type of music, and to your point, like it definitely kind of represents a bridge in that manner. It's like there's some relevancy on paper, and then when you hear it, it's like, oh, okay, I can see where the fusion is happening. So it's natural, and it's relatively easy. God rest Megan Stabile. In the beginning and throughout building our reputation, she's almost solely responsible for making those collaborations happen. Whether it's an idea I had or it's an idea that she came up with, she closed the deal. Like,
Yeah.
and like now it seems easy. Not it might seem easy. It's not easy, but in the beginning, um, she surprised me. She surprised a lot of people because time after time after time after time, not only was she get in touch with some celebrity we don't know or whatever the case may be, she closed the deal. And that has a lot to do with where we are today. Her and her successes. So that's very much our partner, our band member, part of our legacy.
Yeah, yeah. God rest her soul. Um,
Hmm.
So something about the album that I really love already is the album art. I love the cover so much. For anyone who hasn't seen it, I'll try my best to describe it. It's a tree made up of like arms and hands, and it's kind of has this otherworldly vibe to it. I'm wondering, like, I'm curious, what was like the creation process for that artwork?
Yeah. So when we did the Kickstarter, I had to come up. I've been playing with names of the album, and like a tree grows has floated through my head, but I wasn't solidified. Long story short, I had to choose. So the way it always happens, it's kind of like natural or an epiphany. So wake up or something, and it's like that's it. It's always that. Same thing with songs and stuff like that. A lot of times. Anyway, the title came first, and then the vision for the artwork. So for the Kickstarter, got the title, and I also had to get the artwork for the Kickstarter, which was a while ago. So we thought, for many reasons, more than one, it would be not just good to get artwork, but to get it commissioned and painted onto canvas. So at that point, certain people came into mind, including Raquel Jones, who's the artist of the cover art. So that's a friend that is a multidisciplinary artist. She's a rapper, singer, um, painting artist, digital artist, fashion artist, you name it, artist, like all of it. So she's super dope. She tours with Thievery Corporation, and she blessed me with that. Put it on the canvas, and then she took the digital picture. I commissioned her for it. I gave her the idea basically, so I did my best to explain it, and she executed to her understanding. And that's what I like about my art, her art. People see it, they can interpret it how they see fit. You know,
Mhm.
I don't want to assign a definition.
Yeah. You said the album title came first, like a tree, it grows, and it was toying around in your head for a while. Is there like do you have a specific inspiration behind that name, or is it just kind of something that like you thought of that sounded right for the songs?
It's a classic metaphor, you know, like deep roots, family trees. It's really family tree. I often use the metaphor, like if jazz is the grandfather, perhaps, I don't know, funk is the son,
Mm,
and then hip hop is the grandson. And there's the same family. They dress from a different era. They love one another. They understand one another. They use different slang.
yeah.
There's there's commonality, there's differences, but guess what? It's all one. So you can trace that all the way back to, you know, uh, what do they call it? The first woman to ever exist.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so you could trace it back there if you'd like, but it's kind of like on that train of thought.
Mm,
So fast forward to today, the art to me represents a combination of hands and arms and lineages. It's really the lineage, a melting pot, basically creating what you have before you, and that's broad enough.
yeah.
There's still room for interpretation, and that story can resonate however you choose.
Hmm. I was looking a bit at the track list preview, just looking at, like some of the song names, some of the collaborations. It looks really exciting, like a lot of cool collab. I think I saw like Sean Jones, a few other people.
Hmm.
Um, but are there any songs in particular like you're especially excited for people to hear?
Oh man, y'all got to hear Levels.
Levels?
Levels was supposed to be the first single, um, but we decided to make it the focus track of the album,
Mm,
and it features Bilal. It's Bilal's song. He wrote the song, and the relationship I have with the song is interesting because I moved to New York maybe a year, 2 years later. Megan, I already knew Bilal, played with him, but like Megan was like, um, Bilal needs a band, basically. He has a show, needs a band. Bilal was in transition from like working with Robert for years and years and years, pretty much all the time. And then he wasn't sure which way to turn to kind of, because Robert was busy in solo career, Blue Note, all that stuff. And same thing for a lot of his band that he's working with at the time. So it was a new start for him in a way. It's a new chapter. So Megan hooked it up. I became his band for a couple shows. He introduced this song Levels at that first rehearsal. So he just wrote it right before that and he introduced it for the first time. And he really was building out the song in that rehearsal. Like it was composed, but he was still adding parts. So the musicians I hired for my band at that time helped complete the song and perform. We performed it with him for the first time.
hmm.
Um, so I think I had Daru Jones, Louis Cato from Stephen Colbert. He was
Hmm.
on bass. Big Yuki, he was on keys, and God rest him, James Casey on tenor sax, and myself. And we performed that song, and then he was. I remember Bilal being kind of like nervous about. He didn't know what musicians to get, but that kind of became his band. We did a couple shows, and then he held on to Yuki. He held on to Louis Cato, and they became a part of his band for a while. So it was cool to just see him like, you know, continue to go on his journey. And some cats I helped introduce to him were a part of that. So, but yeah, Levels has grown since then, and it turned into this arrangement we did later. Megan was like featuring him with the big band. We had a big band later, and the arrangement is completely different than when it was born. It has all these different hits, drops, like breakdowns. It's pretty epic. It's pretty like there's a lot of energy. So
Mm, all right. I'm really excited for that. Obviously, it worked if he added two new band members just because how good the rehearsal was. So that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. So I know like you've obviously been like in the industry for such a long time. Revive Big Band has been active for like 14 years now. And before that, like a band leader for Miss Lauryn Hill and Nas. I want to know like what have been some of your biggest challenges in the music industry?
Um, some of the biggest challenges was, at least in this process, was like the record deal. I had some offers from majors, and it took a while to not really make it happen, but it happened, and then it took a while to decide and work out terms, and then eventually I decided not to go that route and went independent. So
Mm-hmm.
that was like a really big challenge to make the decision to get everything happening, and then to consult some of my very close friends and ultimately decide not to go that route because of the terms.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really, really challenging, as well as a lot of artists and friends, they're so busy and stuff like that. So I actually had more collaborations confirmed, but did not, they're not going to be on this album. Maybe the next one. So that was very challenging. The budget is always challenging for a big
Yeah.
band. And right now, it's really just making sure we're marketed to the thousandth degree and just getting exposure, getting people to hear it. Because I don't know, I just feel comfortable and confident about our presentation. You know, it's just a very realistic human current presentation. You know, it's not AI. It's like, oh snap, like I hear these are humans. This is a big band. They're playing some of the tradition, they're fusing it, and then they're playing some hip hop, they're playing some soul, you can hear the gospel and the blues up in it, like it's all there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And from like your experience in this recording process and working with these collaborations, deals, what you've observed, is there anything that like you want to see change in the industry?
yeah, in the business, like Roy Hargrove told me, the money can hurt the music. So
Mm-hmm.
the business is from live performances to the splits. Like I hope a lot of people just kind of shine light on it,
Mm-hmm.
and things can magically change. Kumbaya. But like the live shows, the splits between the venues and the agents and everybody involved need to just be fair because the musicians are losing. Major artists are canceling tours and rerouting things. You could talk about the Live Nations and those monopolies and that part of it. And then, of course, like the same old song with the Spotify's who underpay, and then they have a deal with the labels, and that's a whole nother story with the deals there. Long story short, it's harder to create and it's harder to perform and it's harder to fund it. So there's pros and cons to everything, right?
Yeah.
So more people can make music, you'll hear more music. A lot of music might be a drop in the pond. Maybe the best music will make it through. Maybe, maybe not. How music is highlighted is it just, if the playing field was level, I think it would be good. But That's very kumbaya.
Yeah. I always like
Um,
um but my final question is, do you have any like final message for fans or listeners of the album tomorrow?
we got vinyls, y'all, and the artwork is
Yeah.
amazing. The music is amazing. I think it's an important project, and hopefully you get to dig into the story. Um, Unlike many people, we didn't just write this for this. This is life. This is every song is attached to real events, and I was commissioned per song, so every song has a reason that it exists. And everybody that we have a huge family. Revive Big Band has a huge family, so everybody that's ever participated, did a show, performed on the album, or contributed in any way is not only a part of it, but like hopefully their story is told and understood through this. So I mean, it's very much like art in real life. So hopefully people can understand that. Jazz legends are still born today. Music legends are still born today. Talent is still born today. And not only are we like standing in the shadows of your favorites, but like we have our own art. And, like I think music is changing, whether it's hip hop and just hearing the other musical instrumental possibilities or other ways it could be flipped with bands. And then how it translates to not just the young, but all ages, but it also it's in the schools. I'm hit up by so many universities. Like I was commissioned to write "How Much a Dollar Costs" by Kendrick Lamar for
Mm,
the University of Maryland.
mm,
So it's all kinds of stuff like that in the educational system. So I mean, like we're changing. Things are different now. It wasn't like that when I was young. It wasn't like that before that. Pros and cons. So we'll see where it goes, but I think it's very important on so many fronts. And we're up in Carnegie Hall doing the same thing with Busta Rhymes, with Jadakiss, Slick Rick, Queen Latifah, like you name it. And people are selling that out. So I think we're in a pendulum where it's it's still like they appreciate live art, live music, and not only can it be performed to your favorites, but like they're responding to the original stuff, the lane that's in, whether it's me, Kamasi Washington, Rob Glasper, Terrace Martin, and so many others. Like I think it's that bridge.
yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Well, you guys heard it here. Like a Tree, it grows out tomorrow. Listen, stream, and they have vinyls. Amazing album art.
So
Thank you so much for joining me. Really cool to hear more about the band and your process.
thank you.
Thank you. Have a
Have
good night.
a good night. Bye.